What's going on, guys? Welcome to another tactics tester, and I cannot wait to bring you this one today. It is the 4-2-4 by NV Heat. So it's a pretty old-fashioned tactic in terms of the way the players line up. You don't normally see that anymore. Normally you've got a holding midfielder, an attacking midfielder, 6 wing backs and everything else. So this is nice to have what is quite an old-fashioned formation. As somebody who grew up with teams when they were playing 4-4-2, it makes a big difference. The season, it's nice, you know, it's nostalgia. Anyway, as always, we trial it with 3 teams: Arsenal, AC Milan, and Borussia Dortmund, and then we see how we got on and put the results into the league table, which will be announced at the end of the lifespan of Football Manager 2023. Now, MV Heat had massive success with this in his trust. He did it with PSG, though. Now, obviously, PSG are massively overpowered for the league they play in, but still, he only drew 4 games and didn't lose one all season, which is really impressive. But let's have a look how they line up. Sweeper keeper then at the back, set to attack, so they are going to look to be starting off their line almost as another centre-back. 2 wing backs, both set to defend, and both with shoot less often and sit narrower. And then we've got two ball-playing defenders, both set to defend with shoot less often on there as well. In the midfield, we've got a ball-winning midfielder with no additional instructions on there. And then we have a deep-lying playmaker next to him. Again, no additional instructions, straight out of the box, nothing too in-depth. On the right and the left side, we have inverted wingers who are both going to sit narrower and shoot less often, which is surprising. But these guys are going to be your creative outlet for your 2 strikers. And then up front, we have a deep lying forward set to attack, shoot less often again, and roam from position. So he's going to be dropping into this hole here to act like a number 10, which is going to be key. You're going to have a really good creative player who has a very good first touch, awareness, and probably a little bit of flair in that position. And then next to him, it is an advanced forward, taking more risks, but also shooting less often. So this doesn't want your players just going for the goal from any angle. They're going to look for the best opportunity. In terms of our team instructions, we're set to a positive mentality. When we have possession, we work the ball into the box. So going back to what I said a second ago, your players are going to look for the best possible opportunity that they can find. Our approach will be to play it out of defence, focus play through the middle, but we're also going to have our wing-backs overlapping, which seems strange because we've told them to sit narrower and stay back, but it seems very strange, kind of counterintuitive to what we're telling them to do, but we'll see what happens with that. I'm not entirely sure how that'll work. The passing is really short and it's a higher tempo, so quick 1-2 touch passing and playing in triangles to pass it around the opposition. And we are letting our teams be expressive, means they will be able to, if you've got flair players, Odegaard, Jesus, for example, in the Dortmund team, we have Marco Reus, they'll be able to really come into their own. When we lose the ball and we're in transition, we're going to counter-press, and as soon as we win the ball, we're going to counter-attack as well. We're going to try to slow the goalkeeper's distribution down, but we're never going to play that long ball. So we're never distributing it over the top of the defence, and we're not distributing it to a target forward simply because we don't have one. And then out of possession, well, we are in a high press up front with a standard defensive line. We're going to stop crosses and trap the players inside, which is why we're telling the team to play narrow. So it's going to create almost like a vacuum where everywhere they turn, there'll be a player in either a red or yellow, because obviously 2 teams play in red and 1 team plays in yellow for this experiment. We're telling the players to get stuck in and to step up more. So we are going to be really putting our foot in. It's a very old-fashioned Arsenal, Manchester United style tactic, and I kind of like that. Like I said at the start, it's nostalgia. It reaches into that child that's inside me and says, this is what Arsenal were like when Vieira was in the middle of the midfield. But we don't know if that's going to work in 2023. It could result in a hell of a lot of disciplinary problems, but who knows? Anyway, as always, we let the assistant manager play through the season, and the only instructions we set to him are to make sure that he uses our tactic. So when we say to go on holiday, we use current match tactics. The lineup can be set to whatever he wants at that point in time. We're not going to force him to play what we deem our best 11, because obviously injuries, suspensions, out of form, etc. will come into it. Anyway, That's enough explaining. I do this at the start of every episode. I can't wait to see how this tactic gets on. Let's see how we got on with Arsenal in the first season. All right, then. So season 1 with Arsenal is in the bag, or experiment 1, sorry, is in the bag. And it didn't go well the 21st of January 2023, and we have just been sacked as the Arsenal manager. And we only have 28 points from the 20 games we played, 7 wins, 7 draws, 6 defeats, a goal difference of 5. It's fair to say that I think when you put this in a league where you're not the top dog, when you're not the big bad wolf of the league who is just so much more dominant than the other teams, it's a challenge. Now, if we look at the Arsenal team and we look at their schedule, it was just inconsistent. Actually, we started off so well. You know, the first, 7 games? We won 4 of the first 6. So 5 of the 7 wins came before the 4th of September. And then we've won 2 games since. It's not. We hit the scuppers here, and I think that's probably where we've lost our job. But it isn't consistent enough, especially with Arsenal. In terms of the players, let's have a look at the senior squad. Gabriel Jesus has scored 20 goals, so in 27 appearances, which is absolutely brilliant. Aaron Ramsdale, however, has conceded 27 goals in the league alone, 35 goals in all competitions. So that is where the first trial of this tactic ends, and unfortunately it was not very successful. So we're now going to catch a flight to Italy, head over to the San Siro, where we're going to take over AC Milan and see how we get on with it in the Serie A. All right, then, so Season 2 is completely done, and in February this time, so we lasted a month longer than we did in the Premier League, we have been sacked. We sat 9th, 21 games, 9 wins, 6 defeats, 6 draws, only the 1 goal difference, and 33 points. We're actually on a losing streak of 4 games. If we have a look at the players, so nobody really got going. Divock Origi, 10 goals. Oliver Giroud got 8. And that is it, really. It was a bit of a muchness. However, there is one game I want to bring to your attention. And that is this game right here. The semi-finals of the Coca-Cola Super Cup. And we were playing the Milan derby. Martinez opened the scoring for Inter Milan after just 25 minutes. And it was made 2-0 by Brahim on just after half an hour. Oliver Giroud did pull one back for us shortly after to make it 2-1, but it is fair to say that after that point, it was one-way traffic as Inter Milan racked up another 5 goals. Martinez, Barella getting another 1 each. Exceleri, Lukaku and Skriniar all scoring for Inter Milan. This was the beginning of the end of our time in charge in Serie A. It is fair to say we were an absolute disaster in this game, and you simply can't lose to your biggest rivals 7-1 in a cup semi-final. To say it is embarrassing is an understatement, and you can see in this game the downfalls of this tactic because we are so focused on forcing teams inside. If we have an off day, we just concede loads of goals, and it doesn't work. Even Lukaku scored an outstanding volley, and we conceded so many from silly mistakes that it made it a bit of a joke. So, yeah, there you have it. It was an absolute unprecedented disaster to go out of the Super Cup semi-final 7-1 to Inter Milan, but still, at least we made it that far. But not a great season overall. 33 points, and it's now 61 points on the board for this tactic so far. It is not even going to get close to the other 2 tactics we have on our leaderboard so far in this series, but still, we're going to give it a go with Borussia Dortmund. Let's see if we can just see the season out, because in my eyes right now, that'd be a success. Let's see how we got on in the Bundesliga. And there you have it. So Season 3 is now in the bag, and we didn't get out of January in this one either. So let's have a look at where we finished up and what the key results were over the course of the season. Now, we were 11th at the point of sacking. 18 games, 6 wins, 3 draws, and 9 defeats, 21 points. Surprisingly, we just can't get any consistency, I don't think, with this tactic. If we have a look at the schedule, I mean, that has had the World Cup break in between it. 1 win in the last 10 games, including 3 friendlies, isn't good enough. But yeah, it was so inconsistent. And I think the big thing, I said it, at the start of this episode, it just doesn't work 4-4-2. And it's set up to be so attacking. It's set up to have overlaps, but with the wing backs narrow, it doesn't really work. It doesn't make sense. It's a good take. It's a good idea. It would need tweaking, and obviously throughout this, I haven't tweaked anything. In terms of the squad, though, let's have a look at who did what. So, we didn't have any success, really, did we? Marco Reus was playing up front. He got 6 goals. Sebastian Haller got 2 in 4 games. That's not great. Julian Brand, 2 goals and 4 assists. Torgan Hazard, 1 goal and 3 assists. It's not brilliant. Karam Yademi, that injury, how key could that have been? Because he'd got 14 goals, 9 of them in the Bundesliga. So, again, that could have been different if he was fit, but you never know. And Gregor Kobel in goals, conceded 33 goals. That is where the issue is. The defence isn't strong enough, and that is why we try it in different leagues at the end of the day. So, in total, then, let's have a look at how many points this tactic got. Now, we have got 22 points to add to our leaderboard here. 22 points. That gives us a disappointing total of 83 points across the 3 simulations. It's probably fair to say, and it's not being too harsh when I say this, I'd be surprised if anything scores lower than that, but you never know. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. I can't believe this has gone that badly. I've never done one that's gone this badly before. But hey, there's always got to be a first time for everything, aren't there? I'll see you on the next episode. Have a good one, guys.